Bandwidth for this podcast is brought to you by CacheFly at CACHEFLY.com.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Modo Shop. I'm your host, Sam Barber, and with me, Ellery Connell. Ellery, what are we going to be talking about today?
We're going to build a Lego.
A Lego? I love Legos.
Specifically, this Lego.
Wow.
Everybody remembers this one as a kid. It has the little slats. You can use it as a grill on a truck or something, and it has this lovely little divot, so if you get them stuck together, you can get your fingernail in there and pull it apart.
So those are the worst kind, actually.
Yeah. So we're going to look at building this, and not only are we going to build it, we're just going to build it in sub D, because we can see when it's not in sub D, you've got those crisp, ugly CG edges, but when you sub D it right, nice little rounding, very subtle, but works very nicely. So we're going to go ahead and build that. So let's go to a new mesh layer and let's hide our old one because we've got to get rid of it.
Okay.
All right.
So we're starting over from scratch.
We're starting over from scratch, and I'm going to start here by zeroing out my center, and I've got just a cube tool here, and I happen to know the dimensions of these because I've been doing several of these.
You're obsessed with Legos.
I'm obsessed with Legos. They're 16 millimeters by 3.2 millimeters by 8 millimeters.
So we're building this to scale.
We are.
All right.
And how about we do 8 millimeters instead of 8 meters?
Well,
that would make sense.
Okay.
All right. And we're actually going to, just to center it up a little bit better, I'm going to add 0.8 millimeters on the Y, or excuse me, 0.16 or 1.6 millimeters on the Y so that it's sitting on top of the ground plane. When I click apply, okay, there we are. So now we drop our tool and we're ready to start with this.
Okay.
So the first thing that we're probably going to want to do here is we're going to want to set up, we had those slats that ran right through the middle, so we're going to run a loop slice through the middle, just one. We can see now that's running all the way around there, okay? And now we got that little divot to worry about, so let's run another loop slice here, and let's bring it down pretty low, somewhere about there, so that we have somewhere to cut in. Now, we could take these and bevel them in, but it's going to end up with an overlapping edge here, a lot of kind of issues. So what we're going to do here is a little trick. We're going to add another loop slice, and we're going to bring it up as close to the top. Let's maximize that view. Bring it up as close to the top as we can. So now you can see we've got this little thin line there.
All right.
And now we can grab this and then shift up arrow to get the bottom edge. And now we can scale this in. So let's scale in, and we'll scale each view independently. So now I'm looking at the right view. I'll just bring it in, so we get a nice little right angle, and the same thing on the front view, and then we're set. Now the one problem here that we got is that this has a very slight angle to it, so I'm going to select the whole loop, there we go. Whole loop. And I'm going to go to my scale tool, turn off negative scale, and then just flatten that thing down. Okay. So now it's perfectly aligned. Okay, so now we need to put in where our slats are going to go. So let's, again, go to loop slice, and this time we're going to need 4 slices so that we get 5 divisions. So slice and space there will work out. And I'm just going to click the uniform button so that they all drop in evenly. Okay, so we have those ready where the slats will go. And then I'm going to do a couple across here also. And these we will set, we only need 2 of them. And we're just going to set them to symmetry so that we can bring them evenly. I'm just going to bring those out, and I'm looking at the top view now so that I kind of have the middle portion kind of cordoned off here with
and those move symmetrically
equal corners
from the axis.
Right. Exactly. So if I move one to the left, it's going to move the other one to the right. So they'll always line up. Now we're running with one problem here now, and we're going to see it through several of these places. At this edge, since we have this little bevel in, is running, and it's not all lined up with itself. Okay. So I'm going to have to straighten those out, and since I've got them on either side of each other, I'm just going to turn on my Z symmetry here. So now if I double click one of them, you can see they both select. I'm going to go to my scale tool, and then I'm going to make a custom action center here. So I'm going to choose element action center, which lets me center up on an individual element, be it point, poly, or a line. And so now I've centered it up on this top edge, but then I'm going to set my axis to auto, so I know that it's straight lined up and down. And now if I just grab this and straighten it down flat, we can see that we're getting that nice direct loop here. And so I'm going to do that also on these middle ones. And I'll have to reselect, a new element. So I'll select that top one. And then I'm also going to do it. Let's go to our X symmetry. How about I choose the right one? X symmetry. And we'll do the same thing here. So I'm going to select this one and just flatten them out. So now we have nice clean lines that go all over the place.
Very nice.
All right, so now we're ready to take this part. We're going to bevel it, make sure that group polygons is on. And we're going to go up halfway, so 1.6 millimeters.
And you're eyeballing that.
And I'm looking at the,
but you know the math.
And I'm looking at the shift here, yeah. And Now we can see that this is lining up with that edge that I had cut around the outside, so we're in good shape here. Now I can just turn back to my Z symmetry, and find when you're getting modeling complex things, using your symmetry and flipping it around, getting comfortable with that is going to be a really big step.
Yeah, you're moving so quickly with this because you're not having to kind of get a little bit to the left, a little bit to the right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I'm going to select both top and bottom on these, and we're going to just choose our bridge tool and click, and now we've got that shape ready. Now we just need these little gaps on the sides. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select where the gaps go and cut those out. Now I'm going to go to edge mode, double click on the top, and we need to deselect those tops and again run our bridge tool. And that's done that.
So
we'll do the same over here. So take those, cut, go to our edges. And when you select an entire loop, you'll have to deselect edges on either side to be able to bridge. And you want to select the area that you want the bridge to go across, which is why I selected the tops there. And there we go. So that's all ready. The last thing that we have here is we want that little piece to come down in the middle.
Right.
So I still want 2 loop slices. I'll set it to symmetry, and I'll just use the uniform button there. And I'll drop that in, and then we have a piece here ready to bevel down. So let's click it, and we'll drag it down. Again, we know the math, 1.6 millimeters.
Right.
And there we go. We have the piece, and it's lovely, but when we hit the tab to sub-D it, we get a hideous mess.
Yeah, not very much like a Lego. More like a Lincoln log at this point.
More like a Lincoln log. So what we need to do is now it's actually only one kind of drawn out step away. We just need to add in a bunch of loop slices. So I'm going to start here. I'm going to go around these edges, or these polygons and these polygons. I'm going to go to loop slice. I've got symmetry on, I counted 2, and I'm just going to drag that out so they're all the way out at the edges. And now I need to do that kind of across each of the areas that make up this model. So we'll go through here, we'll go through the middle of these. And you can loop slice multiple pieces at the same time, so as long as they're not touching. So you'll see sometimes I'll select 2 pieces at the same time.
Right.
Oops. So you can do that, and it will a lot of times speed up your workflow a lot. And let's go through this middle section. Let's go through here.
So by adding these loop slices, you're reducing the amount of space that you're sub-D'ing
Absolutely.
on
So
the edges.
The basic idea is that with sub-Ds, what you want is you want, oops, helps if I pick the right one. You want one edge that will define where the edge is, and then you will want an edge on each side of that that will define where, how sharp the edge is. And the closer that defining edge is to it, the sharper it's going to be. And you can do that in each direction so that one edge, it's sharper going one way than another. And there you go. So I just put my loop slices all the way around. Now if we click over to a view here, I've got in my model single view, I've got my wireframes turned off so you can get a better preview. There you can see, we've got it.
Like a Lego. So how long would it take you to build a tank then? So you build this piece?
A Lego tank?
Yeah. Like,
well, you figure
250 pieces.
Took us a couple of pieces each one. Okay, you want to give me a free 32 gigs of RAM?
Sure,
we can probably get going with 64-bit Modo, but we probably have to be smart about that and use instances, or we're going to fry our machines.
All right. Well, you get started on that.
All right.
And while you do, I'm going to thank the folks here for watching Modo Shop, and thank you, sir. Tune in next time. This has been Modo Shop.